has the accuracy, and it is good. Jake Bates. Throwing right side, and it's going to be intercepted. Return past the 15, past the 20, out past the 30. Has space down the sideline. 40, 35, 30. And he is gone. A pick six for Houston. Snap good, hold good, kick up. And it is straight down the middle. Looking to throw, rolls out right. Throws end zone. Touchdown San Antonio. Cody Latimer alone in the end zone. They take a 1-point lead with 3 seconds left. 52-yarder, left hash for the win. Snap good, hold good, kick up. And it's drilled. Miami escapes week 1 with the win. Jason Sanders is looking to throw. Pass right side, wide open. Touchdown Drake London. Touchdown Drake London. Atlanta has tied this game and are an extra point away from taking the lead. Needing the 12-yard line. Handoff, Robinson left side. And going to be stuffed. A loss of 4, maybe 5 on the play. And with 50 seconds to go, the Chiefs have the ball. And most likely that does it. Ball on the 17.5-yard line. Looking to throw. Stepping up, throwing for the end zone. And caught. Touchdown Green Bay. Dontavian Wicks. 56 seconds to play. The Packers are within 3. 6:17 to play in overtime. Tua shotgun. Back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Bunched up. Tua to throw. Has time. Plenty of time. Pass. End zone left side. Jonnu Smith. Touchdown Miami. They're gonna win. Let's go, baby. Here, back behind him. 3 receiving options to the left. Gonna send Smith in motion. Toss left side for Saquon Barkley. Good blocking and room to run. Pass midfield. Spinning his way. Pass the 35 to 30. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and the Eagles respond instantly. Saquon Barkley. Oh my, making his presence felt. 1 play, 60 yards, 3rd and 9 from the 35. Mahomes looking to throw. Quick pass left side, caught by Piron. Has room to run. First down and more. Down to about the 17. And he stays in bounds. That will do it. The Kansas City Chiefs have escaped the Bills and have punched their ticket. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the end cap of week 6 of the UFL. We have a little UFL championship rematch from last year. The Brahmas versus the Stallions. Last year in the championship game, the Brahmas got shut out, 25-0. Looking to bounce back and kind of put up a better showing in this one. They also had a very tough loss a week prior against Houston, a 27-3 loss in a game that neither Kellen Mond nor Jared Guarantano really played well in, and thus Kevin Hogan is listed as the starting quarterback today for the San Antonio Brahmas, trying to get that same magic that Memphis was able to last week out of their 3rd-string quarterback, as the Brahmas are coming off of the first ever overtime loss in UFL history. A tough one to the Showboats last week. They're playing angry, looking to bounce back. It is still Case Cookus as the starter, but Skip Holtz did say during the week that Andrew Pesley is expected to get some snaps in this one. Probably not a lot, but he will definitely see the field at some point, apparently. This should be an interesting one. Really have no expectations for San Antonio this week. Again, going with Kevin Hogan as the starter. They still have a good chunk of weapons that could definitely aid Kevin Hogan the same way that Memphis had some weapons last week to be able to aid Dresser win. But we shall see. We shall see. There is a few tough inactives for the Brahmas. Both Greg Ward and Matthew Sexton are inactive. Greg Ward is a massive receiving option for the San Antonio team, but him not being active is a tough one. And then Matthew Sexton, he's typically the main return man for the Brahmas. He has the only punt return of the UFL this season. So him not being active is definitely going to hurt as well. Larry Roundtree is inactive for the Stallions, though he's the third running back on the depth chart. So it just means we get to see some Ricky Person and CJ Marable more often. And Austin Watkins is inactive for the receiver position. An interesting inactive as well, but to be fair, the Stallions do still have a bunch of other solid receiving options. So we shall see how this one goes. Both teams looking to bounce back after some losses the week prior. We shall see. The Stallions are more so in the tougher spot in this one, with the fact that after the Panthers win earlier today, the Stallions are sitting a half game back of the Panthers. A loss would put them tied with the Roughnecks for second place in the USFL conference. A win tied with the Panthers. So we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. But definitely going to be an interesting one. I don't fully, again, just don't know what to expect from the Brahmas today. Dresser win surprised me last week for the Showboats. Maybe Kevin Hogan will surprise me today. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep the 2 QB system going, but I doubt it. Another thing was the Brahmas. Someone who is active for the Brahmas was someone they recently signed this past week, in Isaiah Buggs, the D tackle. See how much of an impact he can bring. But yeah, this is very much do or die territory for the Brahmas now. They basically need to win out just to have a chance of making the playoffs. It's still going to be a tough road even if they win out. But they really don't have an easy game coming up. I mean, they have Memphis in a few weeks, but that's about it. And even then, Memphis could definitely put up a good fight against them. I feel like Memphis is about to surprise people in this tail end of the season and play spoiler a bit. But we shall see. We shall see as we await the opening kickoff in this one. I both love and hate that we had an hour break in between games. Like, I hate it because like the adrenaline from the tail end of that last one definitely is wearing off a bit, but it's fine. I also like the hour break. I was able to get some food. Able to get some food in me. Eat a little bit. Some good barbecue, some burnt ends. So we shall see. San Antonio is going to get the ball first in this one in a nicely packed out, or nicely filled out protective stadium from Birmingham, Alabama. And again, a much needed bounce back week for the Stallions here if they can pull this off, as they definitely do not have an easy schedule coming up anymore. Their final four games after this one is going to be a very tough stretch. So we'll see if they're able to pull it off. We shall see. Yep, just waiting for Harrison Mevis to send this one down. Got about like 10 seconds left according to that Jumbotron. I will say, San Antonio's road uniforms, being that yellow, it makes for some very interesting jersey combinations. As kickoff is underway, going to bounce and be returned beginning from the goal line. Not a great spot here for Marquez Stevenson. He's going to be brought down near the 12-yard line. Great kick coverage there for the Stallions. Yeah, this jersey matchup is really interesting on the eye. But Kevin Hogan takes the field. He has 3 seasons in the NFL under his belt, 1 start and 9 total games, and a pretty average stat line in those 9 games. So we shall see how he does today. It does remind me a lot of the Bumblebee uniforms from Steelers, yeah. It's interesting. The yellow on dark gray compared to the red on gold. It's something. Hogan and shotgun back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. 1st and 10 from the 13. First play of the game is a pass. Hogan looking to throw, pump fake and rolling to his left to buy some time. Throw in deep, left side has a man. Todd past midfield, still going. The 40, 30, 35 and brought down at the 31. One play, already past midfield. Justin Smith on the reception. Okay, that's how we started in this game. Sure. Fuck it. What a play from Kevin Hogan. And that's a great throw on the run, going to his quote-unquote weak side, rolling to his left there. So Hogan going to hand this off up the middle on 1st and 10 from the plus 31. That's Anthony McFarland for a gain of about 3. Yeah, on one play, the Brahmas have entered plus territory for the first time today. That was a double slant that he turned up on? Okay. But that was also, that was definitely a touchdown save and tackle from William Hooper. That is, wow. That's one way to start a game, for damn sure. Prove me wrong tonight. Prove me wrong tonight, Kevin Hogan. Ball out. Hogan in shotgun back to his right. 2 receivers to each side, looking to throw in 2nd and 8. Has time, pass right side into double coverage, and that might be picked off. There's a Brahma and a Stallion fighting for this. I think they're going to say Marquez Stevenson has it as Ty goes to the offense, but that's a dangerous throw that Marquez Stevenson stole from Chris Steele. Yeah, that's a dangerous pass, but it's definitely leading Marquez Stevenson there. So a handoff up the middle, going to be a gain of roughly 4 as the Brahmas have entered the red zone for the first time today. What's been a very impressive opening drive. That throw needs to be, there's not really a good spot. That ball should not have been thrown there. But yeah, Marquez Stevenson definitely steals that from the one arm of Chris Steele. Now it's 2nd and 6 for the Brahmas. Hogan in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. The Brahmas have one of the lesser tier red zone offenses in the league. Can they capitalize here though? Hogan with some time. Pass over the middle is a dangerous pass once again. But still, somehow, Marquez Stevenson coming down with it for a gain of 5 and a 3rd and 1 coming up. All right, you take that, but geez. We're that weird time of day where the night lighting in this room isn't really getting a factor, but also turning on the light proper would be a mess. Hogan in shotgun back to his left, 3rd and 1. There's a penalty pre-snap. And they're going to bring this back to a 3rd and 6, I believe. Yep, false start on San Antonio. All right, false start, bringing this one back. So just under 12 minutes of play in the first. This has been a really solid opening drive for the Brahmas. But those penalties are probably going to come back to bite them. They average the most amount of penalties per game in the league. So Hogan in shotgun back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Ball on about the 14.5-yard line. Looking for the 8. Play clock winding down. Need to get the snap off. And they do. Hogan, the throw. Birmingham sends pressure and sacked. Back near the 23. Beautifully timed up blitz. And that was Ronnie Perkins getting into the backfield. And this is why Birmingham is one of the best red zone defenses in the league. Joshua Corbin quite couldn't get, he was supposed to chip block on that outside, but he just stepped in too soon. So a big-time defensive play for the Stallions. They bend but don't break. And now comes Tristan Vizcanio for a 41-yard kick from the left hash. To give San Antonio the early lead, it is up, and he missed it well wide to the right. So a fantastic drive for the Stallions ends up with nothing. And the Brahmas escape and the Stallions escape unscathed. He missed that kick well wide to the right. Jeez. So 10:43 to play in the first quarter. We head to the first commercial break. All right, what a way to start this game. What a way to start this one. We shall see. Yeah, we're still at that stage in the day where no other games are really starting anytime soon. Aside of like MLB obviously and some WNBA preseason, but like at 6 o'clock is when we get Pacers Cavs, so I'll probably tune into the tail end of that in this. We have commercial break here after the Brahmas opening drive results in a missed field goal. But it was a really solid opening drive for the Brahmas. Can they build off of it though? That's the question. Can this defense step up a bit? There's not been a great defensive showing this year for the Brahmas, unlike last year. For the Brahmas and one of the better defenses in the league, it has not been the same case this year. As they're giving up, what's that? Like 27 points per game ish, right? Yeah, 27 points per game they're giving up, which is vastly different than what this team was doing last year. But we shall see. Was just coming back from commercial break. We 1st and 10. First and 10 from their own 31. Case Cookus in the game. He's in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Going to look to throw. Not going to take it himself up the middle as the RPO went nowhere. And going to gain about 2, maybe 3. Seemed like he was looking for a quick hitter on the left side, but no receiver was on the same page. Or just nothing was open. Last week versus Memphis was a pretty bad first half for Cookus, but a lot better of a second half. See if he can have a complete game in this one. Cookus and shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Quick throw left side going to be caught for a bubble screen. That's going to gain about 5-ish, as that's Davion Davis on the reception. Ball flash. I'm not sure, one, much over here, but 2, I'm not sure if we had this conversation before, but team builder in the way the team builder works now, making me like, oh, Cook is throwing deep left side, overthrown, incomplete, looking for Deion Kane. Hell yeah. Have we had the discussion about team builder for both college football 25 and Madden 25 before? Because I was going back through that recently, and like I am still upset about how team builder works. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of calls. I mean, it was definitely there. Deion Kane had a step, but oftentimes that's more so a pre-planned thing by the quarterback. Punt comes off clean. Stevenson going to work his way to about the 20. Well, there's that, but also you can't have you can't make a bowl end zone or a Super Bowl end zone. It's just a generic EA one. Either for college football, it's just like the primary color and nothing else on the end zone. Or in Madden, it's like a bone white end zone with Madden 25 in the middle. It sucks. That's like the only issue I have with Team Builder. We had to do a commercial break. Like oftentimes with those 3rd and short stuff, they have that deep option in case like you get on one-on-one coverage. Which again, Deion Kane was there for on one-on-one coverage. I don't hate the throw. It just gotta be on target if you're gonna throw it. It might be licensing constraints. I hope it's changed for 26 though.
Yeah, and we saw that earlier. We saw that a few times this season. We saw it quite a bit last year as well. That like Skip Holtz's play calling is very questionable at times, but typically, like last year especially, Adrian Martinez was able to bail him out a lot, and so is that defense. This year just has not been the same because you don't have a guy like Adrian Martinez behind center. The hope was that Alex Magoo was going to be that, but he has been out still. He's still out and on IR after getting injured early against Michigan in week 2. So then his question is, how do you pivot? Because neither Corral or Cookus are really mobile quarterbacks. So you have to alter your game plan and how you call plays for that. But I wouldn't say that they're against doing that, but they're just not haven't done it successfully. But again, like as long as this defense continues to play really, really well, I don't think it will be that big of an issue just yet. When we get to playoff time though, then it'll be an issue. When we get to late in the season and playoff time, where you're going against like we're going against Michigan again, or hell, even Houston next week, it might become an issue if you can't get a consistent offense going. As we're just coming back from commercial break. Hogan in shotgun, back lined up to his right, 2 receivers to each side. What time does the is that like, it's like 6:15 when the second one starts, right? Quick pass right side for a receiver screen is going to gain about 3. That is Rashawn Henry on the reception. Wasn't it the case though with double headers where it's only a 7 inning game? Or was that just the COVID year? Because I guess it probably also depends on the timing of stuff. Hogan in shotgun back to his right, gonna look to throw in 2nd and 7. Quick pass left side is short armed and incomplete. Trying to get that out to Justin Smith. That was just a COVID year, okay. Yeah, because I know the second game of that doubleheader is a 6:15 start because they kept showing it on the ESPN broadcast. So Hogan in shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, the 3rd and 7. Looking to throw Stallions 10-4. Pressure coming, avoids it up the middle. Gonna keep it himself and gain about 2. Maybe just a yard there, but still a 3-and-out nonetheless. Yeah, 3-and-out forced by the Stallions. Nice. Yeah, that is true. The streak does still continue for the Mets, where they constantly lose the 34th game of the season. As Brad Wing on to send this one down with 7.5 left in the first quarter. Punt comes off clean and going to be returned beginning from about the 26. Davion Davis has some room, gets up past the 40, the 45, the 50. Has some blockers past the 40 and down to about the plus 37. Davion Davis, what a return. Good block in there on that return. He had plenty of space up the middle. Hey, that's Brad Wing. Brad Wing making a touchdown save and play there, forcing him more inside. Or more outside, so that way Bo Pete Keys can make the tackle. That's a great way to flip the field as Cookus is going to hand this off up the middle, and that goes nowhere for Ricky Person. Jordan Williams instantly in the backfield. This I know because you're a Stallions fan. Would you say that this game needs to be a blowout for it to be a solid, for it to be like a true bounce back win? or just winning in general would be enough for this game. Because like again, the Brahmas have been a team this year that really you should be able to handle if you're going to be taken seriously. As Cookus looks to throw in 2nd and 10, pass over the middle is incomplete. Pressure was in his face. There's a penalty flag. A penalty marker thrown late as Cookus, a little slow to get up. Oh, and he's hopping on his leg. Yeah, he's struggling to put pressure on that right leg, it seems. 16 years of losing a 34th game. That's one of those stats where no one really realizes. All right, defensive hold-in on San Antonio is the call here with 6:40 to play in the first. I mean, Andrew Pez. I want to say Andrew Presley, but there's no R in his name. Andrew Peasley is the listed backup, so like that's an option. The plan was for him to get snaps anyway in this game. But Cookus is still in. 1st and 10, and shotgun gonna look to throw here, rolling to his right. Has some time, pass to Sternberger is incomplete as wasn't the greatest of. It was just really great really just great coverage there more than anything. And that was Tavante Beckett in coverage. There's now a penalty marker down as well. And it's an ineligible man downfield on Birmingham. Push on back 5. Replay first. Not going to be 2nd down. Never mind. But yeah, it's like I'm going bootleg right after Cookus is slow to get up is certainly something. Oh yeah, and that's clear ineligible downfield. That's Deontay Brown they called for it. So it was 1st and 15. Cookus alone in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Looking to throw, has some time, pass right side. And that is a they get the yardage back from the penalty and then some, so like a gain of 6. Definitely. Like again, like the tail end, like, they definitely are not. You worded it good there with they're not in sync, but I just think that they need to get a consistent quarterback play for more than 3 weeks. And then like this tail end of the season is not going to be easy for them. So do we need to figure it out quick? Cookus to throw in 2nd and 9. Quick throw left side for a receiver. Screen is going to get about 8.5, maybe 9. That's K. Johnson on the reception, but a nicely timed receiver screen. 2-hour intermission between the doubleheader today. Okay. As it's 3rd and 1. Okay, for a second, Cookus was not in the huddle though. It's not in the huddle. It's 3rd and 1. Cookus and shotgun back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Ball on the 25. Cookus is going to hand this off up the middle for Ricky Person, and he's going to find a lane to pick up 1.5 yards. Gets just enough needed for the first, but there was still like 2 or 3 Brahmas in the backfield quickly. So Cookus in shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. 1st and 10 from the 23.5 yard line. Cookus going to hand this off up the middle once again, and that is Ricky Person going to gain about 1.5 yards, maybe 2. Weird how Person is the lead back today so far. Marable is still listed as a starter. So that is a weird technicality, Ball Flash, about the Cardinals and Mets games today. It makes sense, but don't matter. So a 2nd and 7. Cookus and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Ball on about the 20.5 yard line. Hand off to Person once again up the middle. As you have a 1st down and more inside the 10 and brought down near the 7. The Stallions have entered the red zone for the first time today, looking to get on the board first. You have beautiful blocking up front and a nice lane for Ricky Person. Beautiful blocking up front. Cookus and shotgun back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. As he's going to hand this off to Person up the middle, and going to be brought down inside the 5 at the 4. Two and a half to play in the first, 2nd and goal coming up. Cookus in shotgun back to his right, 2 receiving options to each side. Gonna send a receiver in motion right to left to make it trips left as Cookus is going to hand this off once again up the middle, has room, and that's a touchdown for the Stallions. Ricky Person doing it himself on that drive, basically. They get on the board first. It's a 6-0 lead with 2:10 to play. I think part of the reason that they stuck with the ground game there is, 1, is what got them down there. And 2, Cookus' leg is so probably... It seems like it is his right leg, it seems. So he probably can't plant on it that well. So it's easier to just keep handing the ball off when you get to that spot and you have the multiple chances. But that was a much needed red zone touchdown. The Stallions have not been good in the red zone this season. The 2-point try from the 5. Cookus alone in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. We're about to put the test of, can you plant on that leg here? Cookus to throw, and there's going to be a stoppage pre-snap as that ball was sailed into the end zone. As pressure was there quick. There's going to be a false start on Birmingham. 2-point try from the 10 coming up. All right, so a 2-point try from the 10. Cookus alone in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Try and make this an 8-point game. Cookus to throw. Pressure comes quick. Pass over the middle is dropped. Jordan Thomas hit him in the belly over the middle in the end zone, but couldn't hang on. It remains a 6-point lead. With 2:10 to play in the first, we're going to head to a commercial break. Definitely. Because, like, the UFL this year as a whole is definitely leading more so towards a mobile quarterback league. I mean, we're seeing what Bryce Perkins is doing this year. We saw what Adrian Martinez did last year. But then, like, you have Dresser Wynn and Jalen McClellan and now Case Cookus and Kevin Hogan in a sense. We're like, pocket quarterbacks can still do a really good job if they have a team around him, which some of those guys do. Especially running backs. Like, Birmingham's running back trio really is a really good trio. You need to keep at least one of them in short proximity in order to, like, make it easy for Cookus. Logan and Wilkins are run heavy too. Yeah, they are as well. But that system as a whole in St. Louis is run heavy. Even if they had a pocket passer quarterback in there, they're still averaging 35 carries a game through Jacob Sailors and Jarvion Howard. It's not just because Duggan and Wilkins are there. Now, yes, their mobility and their confidence in their legs to help out broken down pass plays, definitely a key factor. We see that in Michigan as well. But it was not like the entirety of it. Yeah, the entirety of it. I mean, we see with DC and Arlington that you still need a quarterback that can move in the pocket, as Tiamu and Perez are like that. Yeah, but again, that's just St. Louis's system. St. Louis's system is you need more. You need pocket movement in that system for it to work. And plus, with McCarron, you guys never really had a ground game because you were very pass happy. Yeah, the weather does seem really nice over there. It has not been great today here. A little more down south in Florida. It's not been the greatest. So I think we took the poor weather in order for Birmingham to have a clean game. As this kickoff is going to be out the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Stallions. The Brahmas will begin their next drive from about the 30, right? That's the rule. Because we get to see what Kevin Hogan can do on this drive. First drive of the game for Kevin Hogan was a pretty solid one. It just stalled out at the end once they got inside the red zone. We'll see what the second drive brings. Hogan in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receiving options to the left. Going to look to throw, he rolling to his right. Now going to try and keep it himself, and that's a gain of roughly 3, maybe 4. Yeah, because the spring leagues lead more so towards a college style, and not college style, but a college like environment. And in college, mobile quarterbacks are the way to go for just simple success, like instant success. That's what I mean. Look at Johnny Manziel. That man was a mobile quarterback machine, but couldn't do shit anywhere else. Or Jaden Daniels, but he's also carried success to the NFL. Hogan and shotgun going to look to throw after play action. Pressure coming, going to avoid 1 sack, but then be brought down by a trio of other Stallions back near the 31-yard line. This front seven is going to cause some havoc today. I mean, Birmingham's defense is up there as a really solid defensive unit. It's just they do depend on that front seven creating pressure, and when they can't, it hurts the back end. I mean, we saw that with their matchup against DC in week 1. We even saw that last week against Memphis. 3rd and 13. Hogan and shotgun back to his left. Going to look to throw. Quick pass left side. Tipped and incomplete. Trying to get the receiver screen going left side, but it's tipped at the line and nearly picked off by Bradley Anai. And that's a 3-and-out forced by the Stallions. All right, punt comes off clean and going to be bouncing out of bounds around the 30-ish maybe. Yeah, exactly, Bob Flash. Just a good way to put it. Because again, you hear me talk a lot about the difference between improvisers and scramblers when it comes to quarterback play. UFL definitely leans more so towards the NFL leads more so towards improvisers. It feels like right now the UFL is leaning towards primary scramblers. Because you have one more play needed before the end of the first quarter, and that's Andrew Peasley is in for the Stallions. Going to hand this off up the middle for CJ Marable. He goes nowhere. Stuffed at the line, and now bring us to the end of the first quarter. Yeah, in a way, it is like comparing banana ball to baseball, which that conversation on baseball Twitter the past few weeks has been plaguing my timeline, and it is so funny to watch. We've reached the end of the first quarter. And like, and also like that like the difference between UFL and NFL is part of the reason why you're probably not going to see a lot of starters in the UFL become like long-term starters in the NFL. Just because like again, the styles are slightly different, and most of these guys do fit towards like a stereotypical backup type model compared to the starter. But obviously, like there's going to be some exceptions to that down the road somewhere. I mean, Taylor Heineke was an exception to that when he started with Washington. He did a pretty good job. Yeah, there's always exceptions to everything that's related to sports. So it's always hard to like definitively say one thing's the way because you can easily find an example for something else. So it's like, hey, it's just at the end of the day, whatever works, it works. If you find success, you're gonna find success, and that's all that matters. As long as you keep stacking wins, you're gonna be fine. As we're still at commercial break, waiting for the start of the second quarter. Yeah, that was a I I can't believe y'all lost to them either. It's like that was just a weird that first half was a really weird first half. And like I mentioned in power rankings, or is it worse in the predictions? I mentioned definitely in power rankings I mentioned it, where it's like there was miscommunication between Holtz and the special teams coordinator. You can tell that there was some kind of miscommunication there about Harrison Mevis' career long. And through that, it led to the kick six that I want to say lost Birmingham that game last week, but it definitely didn't help. Andrew Peasley in the game right now for the Stallions, and they're going to do a QQB system today between those two. As he's in shotgun back to his left, two receivers to each side. First play of the second quarter is a pass left side that's caught by Sternberger and gonna make one man miss and get the first down, and then a little more for a gain of 11. Yeah, exactly. And again, like, also like that weird two live ball penalties against the defense results in a successful conversion is weird. I'm not a fan of that, but I get it at the same time. Ball now on the 39. Peasley in shotgun back to his right, looking to throw here once again. Has time. Pass left side, back shoulder. Caught by Deion Kane. Got his toes in. That's a massive gain of about 20. And the Stallions are in plus territory once again. That was a beautifully placed ball. Yeah, too much separation on that outside. I'm not sure. Not sure about Flash. Easily in shotgun, a back to his left, Sternberger in the backfield to his right as they hand this off up the middle and they get to about the 35-yard line for CJ Marable. So now 2nd and 6. It is kind of weird that Cook is just sitting on the sideline, but he also did get injured that last drive, so never mind. Beasley alone in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, 2nd and 6 from about the 36. Pressure comes in quick, he's sacked, and that's going to be a fumble. Picked up by San Antonio at the 44. Blindside, never saw him coming, gets hit, takes a massive hit. That fumble was picked up by Matt Gotel. And I couldn't see the number that forced it. That very easily could have gone the other way for 6, but luckily it didn't. They did a double screen? You did a double receiver screen to each side. I don't know about that. But it was Lonnie Phelps who forces the fumble. And San Antonio has some momentum and has some life in them. And that brings us to a commercial break as well. Yeah, and there's a lot of head coaches that maybe would benefit from not calling plays. But maybe they don't fully realize it. I mean, I'm saying that kind of as like a McDaniel is kind of one of them, kind of not. He's a man on a mission. I just don't know what that mission is. That's the thing with Skip Holtz. It's like, yeah, it's like they have a formula that has worked for 3 years straight. It feels like they're still trying to do it, but not in the same. It feels like there's like a piece missing. And I'm not fully sure what that piece is. Because even with Corral behind center, they were playing really well, but they still looked off at times. But again, look, Birmingham is one of those teams where you can't really count them out until like they are out of it. Just because, yeah, Skip Holtz is a madman at calling plays, but sometimes you need a little bit of madness and unexpectedness in the play caller for that one play that wins you a game that wins you the game. That was definitely not it though, Colin. Something tells me that Beasley didn't play it properly either. Because typically you see double screens like that. You pump fake to one side. But maybe in this case you should have pump faked to left. But yeah, it's open. Like Deion Kane is wide open with good blockers on that left side. He just never looked that way. Yeah, he never looked left side. Yeah, that right side's a decoy. Those routes are too deep to be proper screens. That right side's a decoy screen. Ball was supposed to go left, but he never looked that way. Okay. Yeah, that outside route on the right side was too deep to be a proper screen. Hogan in shotgun going to hand this off up the middle, and that's going to be a no gain for Joshua Corbin. Instantly in the backfield there for the Stallions was Chappelle Russell. McDaniel is a very similar way. Mike McDaniel is a very similar way where he tries to make the adjustment trying to make an adjustment to what he thinks the defense is going to. Yeah, he's trying to outsmart him. Phrasing that way too complicatedly. Pass left side to Corbin's going to be caught, and it's a gain of roughly 10. I always like to explain McDaniel's mind of he tries to make the adjustments on offense at the same exact time as the defense would make the adjustment, and it like never works. It was so better, yeah. Hogan gonna hand this off up the middle for a delay handoff, and that's going to work for about 6. in a way, that's a strategy of football in the league as a whole, yeah. But especially for a league like this, more often than not, just going with what works and keeping with the fundamentals is better off. St. Louis has been keeping with their strong ground game. Yeah, they have been. They're averaging like 35 carries a game compared to like 20 pass attempts. It's crazy. Hogan pass left side is incomplete. Looking for Justin Smith, nearly picked off by Stephen Gilmore. Went through his hands. It's 3rd and 5. That's a dangerous pass. Michigan as well has been becoming a little bit more of a run-heavy team, but still not the same as St. Louis is. Yeah, San Antonio wanted a penalty after that one, but none thrown. So now it's 3rd and 5, 11 and a half to play in this first half. And the Brahmas are gonna call their first timeout, or we're not gonna get the snap off in time. 11:27 to play. Rockets. I think Houston takes it tonight. Partially that's a joke, but partially it's not as well. Watching the Warriors game plan during Game 6 had me so confused about what their identity as a team is. And yes, yes, I watched some of that like second half for that game, but still, it's just like I don't know. The Warriors are in a very weird spot right now, and it just doesn't feel like they have any type of momentum going into this Game 7. Whereas, like, and to be fair, that's to be said about a lot of teams that lose Game 6s, then get Game 7 forced on them. But like, even with like the Stars for before last night and the Jets tonight in the NHL, like they have something going for them. It doesn't feel that same way for the Warriors. 3rd and 5. Hogan and shotgun gonna look to throw. Has time. Pass left side. Pass left side is tipped at the line and incomplete. It would be crazy if he blows another one, yeah. But it just feels like that's in the cards. Yeah, Marquez Stevenson was open, but Bradley and Nye got his hand on that one. Good job from the D line there. It was a 4th and 5, backed up in kind of a no man's land situation. They're gonna send out Brad Wing, send this one down to Birmingham, to the Stallions. I'll probably have games like that game on in the background tonight. But my main focus is Winnipeg St. Louis Game 7. That's gonna be my main focus. There was a penalty, but there was a false start in San Antonio before the punt, but it's gonna be declined. So still a very tough spot for Brad Wing trying to pin the Stallions deep here. $10:45 to play in the first half, and what has been a pretty defensive first half. Really only the first 2 drives of the game so far have done much offensively. Punt comes off clean, going to bounce inside the 5, and going to be pinned at the 1. Beautiful punt and punt coverage by the Brahmas. Pinning the Stallions deep, trying to get some momentum here and maybe potentially getting on the board. As we're going to head to a commercial break before we see what this defense can do. 10:28 to play in the first half. 6-0 Stallions. Commercial break. To be fair, I'm also partially saying that the Rockets are going to take it because I would love to see Jimmy get bounced first round and blow a 3-1 lead. Yeah, we shall see. Either way, it's going to be a great game tonight, and hell, Even Pacers Cavs game 1 tonight is going to be fun to watch. Like really, like everything timed up perfectly today between UFL and the other games tonight. That way I can just end as soon as this game ends and put on some hockey and some playoff basketball and have a good time. Be able to rest and enjoy what was a really good week 6 of the UFL. And again, I'll say it now. I am not going to be live for any of the games in week 7. Instead, I'm going to have a video go up on Saturday to make up for all of that. So be on the lookout for that instead of going live for week 7, just because I have something that's been planned since before the UFL season even started, going on this weekend. But beginning week 8, we'll be live for every game for the rest of the season. So there's that. As we're just coming back from commercial break, the Stallions backed up at their own 1-yard line. We shall see how this goes. We shall see. And there you go. They're showing that fumble again from the previous drive. As Case Cookus is back in the game for the Stallions. Going with his 2 QB system, I'm not a big fan of. It does feel that way, yeah. But neither defense is going to take advantage of it seems. As Cookus in shotgun, a back to each side. Ball on their own 2. Cookus going to hand this off up the middle for Ricky Person. He gets stood up. Maybe gains a yard, but that's a generous spot if so. But great play by that Brahmas defense. Yeah, I can say he got a yard on it. I'm not full agreement, but it is something. It's not no gain. It's not behind the line. That's the key thing for Birmingham right now. That was Story Jackson on the tackle. Cookus in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right after sending Cade Johnson in motion left to right. As Cookus is going to hand this off once again to Ricky Person. He's going to break 1 tackle and fight his way past the 5 to the 7. But there is a penalty marker down on the play. It's an illegal formation call on the Stallions. They're going to push them back even closer to their own goal line. This is where Skip Holtz, being a bit of a madman of a play caller, can 100% come back to bite. Cookus and shotgun back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Ball back on their own 2-yard line. 2nd and 10. Cookus going to look to throw. Has time. Passed in right side and well off the mark. Incomplete. Had an open Cade Johnson for a back shoulder fade, but threw that ball about 5 yards about 5 yards out of bounds. So 9.5 to play in the first half. A 3rd and 10 from their own 2. Yeah, that was a souvenir ball. It's there. That back shoulder fade is there, and it would have been a great play. Maybe you go back to it, but I don't know. Cookus is just off today. He's in shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the right as well. As Cookus will look to throw. Pressure coming past right side is at the feet of Jay Sternenberger. And incomplete. 4th and 10, a 3 and out. And the Stallions will be punted from deep in their own end zone. I do not get that. I do not get those play calls. You're on your own 2-yard line. Run the ball. Don't take the risk of a safety or anything. Just run the ball. You have a good ground game. You have a solid ground game. I just don't get it. So Colby Wadman on to send this one down from deep in his own end zone. The punt comes off clean and going to be returned beginning from the 45. There is a penalty marker down as Marquez Stevenson's going to trip and be tagged down at midfield. This is going to be running into the punter, not roughing probably. So they're still going to have to punt this one. But it'll be a 4th and 5, I believe. All right, so it was running into the kicker, so that's a 5-yard penalty. But they decline it. I'm sorry, what? Okay, 8:18 to play in the second quarter, and it's gonna be Brahmas ball at about midfield. I mean, yeah, you're still gonna be punting from your own end zone, but at least you'll have more space to, actually send it down the field. I'm an offensive-minded guy as well, but I can still acknowledge when there's a good defensive game happening. This is not one of them. I agree that this is kind of a tough one. But like I'm not opposed to being able to sit down and watch a really good defensive game. Like for example, Arlington St. Louis to begin this week, that's an example of a good defensive game. This not so much. But we are at commercial break. We're at commercial break. I'll quickly be right back. All right, so at commercial break, we await the next San Antonio drive for some really good starting field position. Still a chance to tie this game, but they're going to really need a drive here soon, it feels. We shall see. But yeah, this pass rush for the Stallions have been causing havoc today. So 1st and 10. What you got, San Antonio? Ball on their own 49. Hogan and shotgun back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. As Hogan's going to hand this off up the middle for Jay-Sean Corbin. He's going to make 2 people miss. And Pyle gets pushed forward. I think they're going to say forward progress stopped. Yeah, gain of 2, maybe 3. But that Pyle was getting pushed. So Hogan and shotgun back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Ball past midfield at the 48. And they're going to get some movement up front as penalty markers fly. I think there's going to be an offsides call. Yep, a neutral zone infraction on the Stallions. So it will be a 2nd and 3 coming up. Or 2nd and 2. Yeah, both of these teams get penalized quite a bit, especially San Antonio. Again, they get penalized the most out of any team in the league. So if they're able to keep it down, should be fine. Hogan and Shotgun going to hand this off up the middle, and that goes nowhere, maybe a yard. On the play, there is also a penalty marker down once again, so we'll see what this is. But yeah, not much going on the ground for San Antonio today. You're going to have to be able to pass. All right, it'll be third down on San Antonio. Is that what? Oh, did they pick up the? Did they pick up the penalty? I would guess so. Yeah, still 3rd and 2. So Hogan and Shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to each side. Going to send Stevenson in motion as they're going to end around this right side, and that's a loss of 2. Trying to get fancy with it. Trey Norwood says no, sir. And it's a loss of 2 and a 3-and-out forced by this Stallion defense. That's a great read on the play by Trey Norwood. He comes from deep in the safety position to make that play. Holy. Read that like a book. So Brad Wing on to send this one down. Will come off clean and be fair caught near the 7. And we're about to head to another commercial break with 6:12 to play in the half. We're getting back to the reasons why I don't like Fox. I would rather be a quarterback's coach. There's two. It's especially like as I sit now, definitely rather be like a quarterback's coach because like there's even in just in general like there's a lot less pressure on being a quarterback's coach compared to being a head coach. And I just if I'm gonna be coaching anything, I was a quarterback. Yeah, I was a quarterback majority. I play like 3 weeks worth of tight end before just a lot of shit went south. A lot of shit went south, but I was mainly a quarterback. I played quarterback for like, but I played quarterback the majority. I still like going out to the field and throwing around. Fun. I mean, calling plays would be fun, but you don't need to be a head coach in order to call plays. So like obviously it's unlikely you see the quarterback coach call plays, but like I would still much rather be a quarterback's coach than a head coach and calling plays. There's a lot going on there. And OC, yeah, OC isn't bad either. That probably like of the main 3, head coach and the 2 coordinators, I would want to be an offensive coordinator, definitely. But with throwing positional coaches into the mix, quarterback coach, easy. Yeah, head coach has a lot to deal with outside of just what they're like. I want to say what their mind is set to, but like what their mind is like an offensive mind and defensive mind. You have a lot of other stuff goes into it. There's a reason why there's a lot of really good coordinators that just don't make good coaches because they can't deal with all the extra stuff. they're so focused on the side of the ball that they really know that when everything else gets thrown in on top of it, all of a sudden like they just can't they can't find the same rhythm that they were once in. Like Steve Spagnuolo is a good example of it. He's great DC, cannot be a head coach. Cook is going to hand this off up the middle for CJ Marable, and that's going to be a gain of roughly 2 with a penalty marker down. Yes, like Steve Spagnuolo is a good example of that. Chip Kelly, I would say, is a good example of it as well. The penalty is holding on Birmingham, going to push him back to the 2-yard line. Yeah, showing that third down play on the previous San Antonio drive again. Again, Trey Norwood, the fact he was able to read that play like a book like that is very impressive. Just under 6 minutes to play in the half. Cook is in shotgun back to his right, 2 receiving options to each side, a 1st and 15 from their own 2. Cook is going to hand this off up the middle for Marable, and he's going to get stood up after a gain of a yard. So 2nd and 14 coming up. All right, so they're gonna give him 2 on that play, a 2nd and 13. 5:15 to play in the half. Play clock winding down. Birmingham gotta get a playoff here. Lucas in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. He'll look to throw. Pressure coming. Pass is tipped in the air and incomplete. A lot of pressure forced a really high wobbly pass that luckily just falls out of bounds. It falls just enough out of bounds for that to be incomplete. Any more inside, that's picked off. Like, why are you passing it there? Oh, he gets hit in the head. I mean, you're going to throw the challenge? It's 3rd and 13 from your own 2. You throw this challenge, you probably win it for roughing the passer. Focus and shotgun back to his left. No challenge flag flies. Handoff up the middle for Marable is going to only gain a yard. As they had to say forward progress was officially stopped at the 5. So it's a 3 and out for the Stallions with 4:15 to play in the half. And the Brahmas are still very much in this game thanks to this defense. The 4th and 12. Gonna have to punt from your own end zone once again. The 4th and 12. Punt comes off clean. And going to be returned. That's not a great punt, however. And going to, but take a good, and take, it's gonna bounce beginning from like the 38. But take quite a few Stallions bounces up to the 48. And now there's a penalty marker down. I mean, it's less on Cookus these past few drives, and more just on the bad field position. What are they saying here for this penalty? All right, they picked up the penalty. They picked up the flag. And we're going to head to a commercial break before this next Brahmas drive with 3.5 to play in the first half. We shall see. I mean, I guess to flip it, which San Antonio quarterback would you take? What is this weather in St. Louis right now? How did he just delay it? There's still like an hour. There's still an hour until that game was supposed to start. What is... Bruh, there's no way. Ugh. Hey, the good news about that is there's no interruptions between Cavs Pacers for a little bit. And most likely the Cards Mets game will begin around the same time as Jets Blues. Really, just a random shower delay the game that starts in an hour? What the I mean, I know baseball is like weird when it comes to its weather protocols, but really? All right, just coming back from commercial break. Get over the top about weather. Yeah. It was one of those things where, like, weather does play a big impact on the majority of sports. Obviously, there's hockey and basketball that are played indoors, but besides that, knowing the weather could aid in things. All right, 1st and 10 for the Brahmas. There's a whole in the NFL. There's a whole talk of like if this quarterback is playing in X degree weather and the Earth is tilted by this degree. Second part is a little bit over exaggeration, but Hogan gonna look to throw on 1st and 10 from the +49. Halftime launcher went deep over the middle, wide open, and it is dropped. Man is wide open by 20 yards. John Trey Kirkland, what the fuck? How? How do you drop that? How do you drop that? Legit wide open by 10 yards. How? 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 2nd and 10, Hogan going to hand, not gonna keep it himself, left side on a read option. That's a gain of about 4. Yeah, that's why he's in the UFL for sure. How? John J. Kirkland's like one of their better receiving options. How do you drop that? That would have tied the game and would have been a mess. He goes to sit in the stands afterwards. Oh, how do you drop that? 3rd and 7. Hogan gonna look to throw. Stallions send pressure. Pass left side is caught, but that's a gain of about 2. And it's a 3-and-out for the Brahmas. Steven Stellanos on the reception. There was 4th and 5. I say one of because they do have Jacob Harris, who is also who's also a great receiving option. As we're gonna head to the 2-minute warning before this 4th and 5, that ball could not have been placed better. Legit could not have been placed any better. We're at the 2-minute warning, 6-0 lead for the Stallions. The Brahmas have a decision to make on 4th down. Yeah, that's when he'll be seeing in his nightmares for a while. Listen, there is enough LSU alum receivers in the NFL being like legit, that are like legit guys where I can shit talk one that just isn't for a play. Because you know that any of the past like 3 years of LSU receivers that have made it to the NFL catch that same pass in their sleep. Yeah, with Edling. That's how do you drop that? That's not even one of those, oh, he's open by like 3 steps. So he has like he has to think about the pressure behind him. He could have taken a nap. Ugh, man. All right, select commercial break for the 2 minute warning. I think one of Michigan's RPOs that they run can create stuff that's open like that. But even then, that's towards the sideline and things get and RPOs open up for those kind of plays. But that was just a typical drop back pass. Who were receivers 1 and 2 for that team? It's the Odell Jarvis Landry teams. Okay, that makes sense. So 4th and 5, offense, staying on the field, ball on the 44, looking for the 39. Hogan and shotgun back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Might just be trying to get the Stallions to jump here. Yeah, just trying to get the Stallions to jump. No, it doesn't seem like they're actually going to call a play. As there is a timeout called by the Brahmas. Now going to try and pin the Stallions deep once again. It is crazy that LSU has had 2 separate receiver duos that became superstars in the NFL in the past like 10 years. Odell and Landry, and then Jefferson and Chase. Like, what? I'm still pissed we traded Landry to Cleveland. But it was during that weird era. All right, Brad Wing on to send this one down, trying to pin the Stallions deep in what has been a very defensive heavy game. Hunt comes off clean, and this will bounce in the end zone for a touchback. Put a little too much into it. True. I completely forgot about Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Though I'm willing to hold the brakes on that yet exactly. Not to say neither of them won't be great, but the teams they're on is leaving me questioning just how great they'll be. Especially now that the Jaguars drafted Travis Hunter. That's going to be interesting to see who truly is the main target there. Cook is alone in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, looking to throw, pass right side, that's going to be caught, and out of bounds for a gain of 5, that's Cade Johnson on the reception. Because we could be seeing Brian Thomas take like a T. Higgins-like role now in Jacksonville, where Hunter's the receiver 1A and 1B situation, which can still be solid, but with Trevor Lawrence throwing you the ball, who knows? Cook is in shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, can play action, look to throw. Cook is with some time, gonna roll to his right to buy some more. Still looking downfield, now gonna keep it himself and gain about 5, maybe 6 before getting out of bounds. That's a first down carry for Case Cookus. The Stallions do get ball to begin the second half, so they are sitting really nice here. With a chance to extend this lead even more. Cookus and shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, ball on the 36. The play action look to throw. Cookus with some time going to step up and take it himself up the middle and going to get about 4 up to the 40-yard line. A minute and a half to play in this first half. Clock continues to tick. The Stallions have all 3 timeouts. A 2nd and 6 coming up. Cookus alone in shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Looking to throw, pressure coming, keeping it himself up the middle, spinning his way for a gain of about 6 exactly for the first down. And we'll say Cookus is flirting with Devontae Beckett, just asking for a massive hit here. As there's a stoppage pre-snap before this 1st and 10 with a minute 6 to play. Are they reviewing the spot? All right, so after the review, Cookus was short of the line to gain. It'll be 3rd and inches, and the Stallions will call their first timeout. Yeah, it's 3rd and 1. So 3rd and 1. Cookus and shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, ball on the 45-yard line. A minute 15 to play in the half. Cookus going to hand this off up the middle for CJ Marable. That's a first down and then some. A gain of 4 up to the 49. A minute 10 to play in the half. The Stallions looking to extend this lead by really any amount. I think they get a 9-point lead. I think they'll be feeling good. As Cookus will look to throw. Roll into his right to buy some time. Penalty marker down. Throw in deep right side, and it's incomplete. That's a throwaway. Seems like Cookus was aiming for the kick in net. Yeah, definitely. Going to be a holding call on Birmingham. Push him back 10. Yeah, Brian Thomas is definitely a receiver 1 in the league. That's what I'm saying. He'll probably be 1B in Jacksonville at some point. But it's just, again, they're still very early on in their careers. I don't want to say anything unless we see one of them flare out. No, I think Travis Hunter is going to be committed to playing full snaps both sides for at least the first year. Cookus throw over the middle that's caught by Marlon Williams on 1st and 20, getting past midfield to about the 48, plus 47 more so. With 45 seconds left in the half, clock is ticking after the gain of 14. Cookus and shotgun back to his right, 3 receivers to the right as well. Cookus going to look to throw once again. We're going to step up and dump it off over the middle to Ricky Person, who's going to push the pile for about 3. And with 30 seconds left in the half, we have a timeout called. Yep, second timeout. And Skip Holtz isn't too happy about that play. No, he doesn't. I mean, I get what he's saying of the whole, like, get the first down on that play. Just get the first so we can stop the clock a little bit. But you have the timeouts. Field goal range is right there. You don't need, like, that's a fine play. And, like, pressure was there. I don't think he really missed anyone on that play. Yeah, Holtz has not been happy the past 2 weeks for sure. No, it's not a bad projection by any means. I'm sure there's a lot of coaches that are kind of hoping that's the projection. But again, he'll go both ways as much as he can, and he's gonna be damn good at both. Cook is in shotgun, looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Pass over the middle is caught for the first down and then some. Pass to 30, 25, 20. Good blocking. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Birmingham. Amari Rodgers, the former Green Bay Packer, makes this a 12-point game. With 21 seconds to play in the half. And that's why the dump off on 2nd down was just fine. Go ahead. 12 points probably does win this game. Hell, I would have gone as far as to say 6 points wins this game after that drop touchdown. All right, they're going to go for 2 from the 5. So Cook is alone in shotgun. 4 receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Cookis will look to throw. Quick pass right side is incomplete. Looking for Deion Kane one-on-one, but not much going there. Chris Steele, excellent coverage. It remains a 12-point Stallions lead, with the Stallions getting the ball to begin the second half. Have a good one yourself. Yeah, Amari Rodgers somehow. And he got a great block from Deion Kane as well. That's one hell of a play. Yep, we're slowly approaching halftime in this one. If the Brahmas get shut out again by the Stallions, it's going to be a rough week of practice. Kickoff is going to be muffed and returned out of bounds. Not much going there. John Trey Kirkland, man, get some glue on your hands. Failed to catch that wide open touchdown, then you muffed the kickoff. Jeez. 20 seconds left for the Brahmas in this half. Maybe you get lucky and get something out of it, but we'll see. Hogan in shotgun, gonna look to throw. Pressure coming, rolling to his right, gonna break off 1 sack. Still looking downfield, eventually throwing it. Has a man, but in. No, that's caught by Marquez Stevenson. What? Went up for it and got flipped and still hang on. 10 seconds to play in the half. What a throw and catch there from Hogan to Marquez Stevenson. Go and hurry up here. Trying to save that timeout. Hogan. In the play action, look to throw. Has time. Passing deep. Left side has a man that's caught inside the 10 and out of bounds at the 7. Justin Smith on the reception. Back-to-back deep shots for the Brahmas. And there's 3 seconds left before the half. Okay. And if only there was more time. If only they had a little bit more time. Because they have a shot here. You take the points, right? Yeah. They send out the field goal unit. Missed from 46 earlier in the day, I believe, is what it was. This was definitely a much shorter kick. As the Stallions will call their final timeout of the half. Trying to make this a one possession game entering the half. This field goal try. Back to back really good plays for the Brahmas. So a 26-yard kick from the left hash, missed from 41 earlier in the day. This one is up and it is good. The Brahmas have made this a 9-point game entering the half, of which the Stallions will get ball to begin the second half. So that gives the Brahmas some momentum entering the half. Kevin Hogan threw the ball well in this half. Going to be an interesting second half for sure. See if this defense can step up a bit more. What do we have entered halftime? No, he's been dealing with a groin injury ever since that Michigan game a few weeks back. I think he was supposed to be back by this one, but it seems that it's still. I want to say too much, but it does seem like it's still bothering him a bit. Because, yeah, he was placed on IR. Yeah, and according to him and his, like, weekly YouTube video he posts for each week, that he was dealing with that groin by the time that kick at the end of the game came up. So that might have been the reason he missed it, but still. If you feel pain there for a kick like that, I mean, yeah, there's not another kicker on the roster, but at least a punter. Brad Wink probably has a good leg on him for field goals. We shall see. It's gonna be entering halftime for this one. We shall see. We shall see. So plenty of game left now that this is a one possession game. Again, in UFL, this is one possession. You can get 9 points on a single drive. So the Brahmas are still very much in this one. We shall see. And so we just entered halftime, waiting for the second half now. Again, what has been I want to say a non-game. It's been one of those games where you can tell that both sides just don't have the talent, which is weird because Birmingham is a defending three-time champs. They clearly have the talent on this roster, especially defensively. But the offense just feels like something is missing. And I don't fully know what. We shall see. We shall see. I'm showing highlights from throughout the week now. That Houston Memphis game, that was a really solid game. So was Arlington St. Louis, and the one earlier today. Michigan is a problem. That if anything is taken from week 6 of the UFL, Michigan is a problem, especially Bryce Perkins. They went up against one of the best defensive units in the league and put up 38. Like, come on. We shall see. So a whole another half of play here. We shall see. We shall see. I mean, I feel like this Brahmas defense can definitely make another stand in the second half if they need to. But the question is just, can the offense then build off of it enough to come back in this game? And I'm not sure about that side of things. But we'll have to wait and see. We shall see. All right. Just coming out of halftime, the start of the second half underway here momentarily. Stallions get ball to begin the second half in what has been a defensive game, kind of, not really. It's been weird, to say the least. The Brahmas have had a few plays here and there that were really nice and really solid. And they've had a lot more plays that were just like, yeah, this is the Brahmas. That missed kick on the opening drive has definitely hurt them, though. That's for sure. So we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, this Birmingham defense has done a good job getting pressure today. And yeah, that touchdown right before the half as well. This game is either going to get really interesting here soon, or we're going to see the Stallions start to run away with this one. Brahmas have yet to convert on third down. They've been disciplined though. Only 2 penalties against them. They're also leading time of possession by 24 seconds. But really, like, it's the third downs that are all Stallions. It's just been a weird game all around. Never mind, we're into another commercial break before we begin the second half because love Fox's broadcasting style. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. A commercial break. We await the start of the second half. Stallions get ball to begin the second half in what has been I want to say a defensive game, more so an all-around weird game. Yeah, we shall wait and see. We shall see. We're still at a commercial break, waiting for the start of the second half. Yeah, my thing with Fox constantly is they have way too many commercials in their UFL broadcasts, especially compared to ESPN. As here we go, just now get into the start of the second half. As here we go, start of the third quarter. Stallions get the ball first in this half. Should be interested. We shall see. All right, Skip Holtz. Here we go. Second half kickoff underway. Going to be returned beginning from the 7-ish yard line. Going to work his way past the 25 and fumbling. It's fumbled and picked up by Birmingham. Luckily near the 39, but that's a massive fumble that the Stallions luckily fell on. The only Brahma in the area was the kicker, so that's definitely something, but geez, that was nearly a disaster. Opening kickoff of the half's a fumble. Is that a sign for this half? We shall see. Cookus and shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the left as well. Going to shift it back to his left as Cookus will hand this off to CJ Marable up the middle. Has some room. That's a carry of about 6 up to the 45. And the second half has officially begun. Yeah, we're slowly approaching the start of Pacers Cavs, huh? I should put that game on in the background. Cookus and shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. 2nd and 4 from the 45. Cookus is going to hand this off up the middle once again to Marable, and that's a gain of 3. So a 3rd and 1 coming up. Let me get... There you go. 3rd and 1. Play clock winding down. 7 seconds left. Cookus and shotgun back to his right. 2 receivers to each side. Need to get this snap off. And they do. Cookus handoff, and there is a stoppage before the snap. Penalty marker down as it's a false start on the Stallions. Now with 3rd and 6 coming up. Oh, Darius Garland is out tonight for the Cavaliers. Okay. That is the 7th penalty against the Stallions. Definitely gonna be hoping to clean that up as the season progresses. So 3rd and 6, Cookus alone in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, looking to throw. As time, pass left side is well off the mark and incomplete. Looking for Davion Davis, but threw that about 3 yards too close to the sideline. And it is a 3 and out forced by the Brahmas. That's a good way to start the half. The punt comes off clean. Going to be returned beginning from inside the 10 by Marquez Stevenson. Trying to bounce it towards that left side, but not much room going there. Not going to flip it back right. He has lost about 5 yards on this return. Backed inside the 5 to the 3. What are you doing there, mate? If you let that bounce, it might have been going out of bounds. I think you let that bounce. And I'd hope for a touchback or out of bounds. All right, we head to a commercial break. Again, the amount of commercials that are in the Fox broadcast is crazy. We shall see. We shall see. Still a commercial break here in this one. Still at commercial break. We shall see. Still at commercial break here in this one. God. As Pascal Siakam is warming up before this Pacers Cavs game, which tips off relatively soon, as we are just now getting back to commercial break between the Stallions and the Brahmas. I hate Fox's broadcast so much. The amount of commercials does not help the league either. But that's Fox for you. Backed up deep inside their own territory at the 3. Anthony McFarland is now out for the rest of the game with a shoulder injury. That's a very tough loss for this Brahmas offense. As Hogan in shotgun back to his left, 3 receiving options to the left as well. Going to hand this off up the middle for Jaysean Corbin. That's a gain of about 3. Going to give the offense some breathing room with 12.5 to play in the quarter, but it's still 2nd and 7. All right, 2nd and 7. What you got? Hogan in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, ball on their own 7. Hogan gonna look to throw, has time, pass right side, caught by Corbin in the flat, and going to gain about 2 before stepping out of bounds. 3rd and 5 coming up. I'm gonna say he only got a yard on the play. It's 3rd and 6. All right, 3rd and 6. Hogan in shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well to get the snap off in time. Hogan, the throw. Pressure coming, rolling right. Now just chucking one right side, and that's well incomplete. And throwing that near the kicking net, it is a 3 and out. Forced by the Stallions defense. And this game about to get ugly and not the way I expected. Yeah, nicely timed blitz there by the Stallions. They definitely know when to do that. Brad Wing on to send this one down. Punt comes off clean. That's a great punt. Going to be returned beginning from the 29. Working down that right side. Going to get past midfield and out of bounds near the 45 with a penalty marker down. What's the penalty here? What's the penalty? Taking their time when discussing this. 10:46 to play in the 3rd. The penalty is declined. I think it would have been on the Stallions, so probably was running to the kicker or something. It's declined. We're going to a commercial break because Fox does not understand the UFL. We shall see. Commercial break once again, because Fox is terrible at broadcasting this. We shall see. We're still at commercial break in this one. We're waiting for the Brahmas, the Stallions' second drive of the second half. And Fox loves their commercials, that's for damn sure. We shall see. Here we go. Just now coming back to commercial break, showcasing Case Cookus and his tenure in the spring football leagues. He had a great 2022 in the USFL. Since then, kind of been a rocky road for him, but playing pretty well today in the 9-point lead effort so far for the Stallions. 7 for 12 passing and a touchdown. We shall see how the rest of this game progresses as Cookus is in shotgun, a back to each side. 10:46 to play in the third, ball on the plus 46. 2 receiving options to each side. Cookus is going to hand this off up the middle for Ricky Person, and that is a gain of 5 up to the 41. And clock continues to roll. There's a 2nd and 7, and yeah, there's quite a few injuries going on with this Stallions team, which not great. Both of the quarterback 1 and 2 are both on IR still. Cookus in shotgun, back to his right, gonna look to throw. Quick pass left side, caught by Ricky Person for a halfback screen, and that's gonna find some room for a gain of 6. And a first down reception for Ricky Person. 10 minutes now to play in the third quarter. Stallions hoping to have a long-winded drive here, it seems. They're up by 9, and they're still feeling really good, able to move the ball relatively well. Cookus in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, will look to throw once again. Not going to step up, launching one deep. Left side has a man, but it's overthrown, incomplete. Marlon Williams had a step, just couldn't quite put it on target. Now 2nd and 10, 9.5 to play in this one. Cookus in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side. Ball on the 35, will look to throw. Now going to take it himself up the middle, and that's a loss of about a yard, maybe 2, on a designed QB keeper for Case Cookus. I don't know what we're doing here anymore. But that's cool. TNT is having... The Big 12 is going to be airing on TNT next year? Okay. Yeah, TNT just had a commercial for the Big 12. I guess that's the main network for the Big 12 next year. Hell yeah. 3rd and 11. Cookus looking to throw. Has some time in the pocket. Still plenty of time. Pass over the middle is caught and going to be a gain of 5, maybe 6 right there. But yeah, not much going. Will be a 4th down nonetheless. That was Marcus Bowe on the reception. And they're going to send out the field goal unit here on 4th and 6. Harrison Mevis trying to make this a 12-point game with 8 minutes to play in the third, as tip-off between the Pacers and Cavaliers will happen momentarily. Nice, 4th and 6, so letting this clock run a bit. A 49-yard try from the right hash for Harrison Mevis. Kick is up, and it is right down the middle. 12-point lead for the Stallions. That's a beauty of a kick there by Mevis. And Harrison Mevis' only miss of the season came in the last week loss to Memphis on that kick 6. As we head to a commercial break with 7:36 to play in the third quarter. Sam Merrill is getting the start at shooting guard for the Cavs tonight. Okay. That's going to be a trivia answer in like 5 years. We shall see. We're at commercial break as the Brahmas are about to get the ball back down by 12 now. Again, in a game where their offense has not been able to do a whole lot. All right, tip off between the Pacers and Cavs has happened. That'll be on in the background. We shall see. Just coming back from commercial break. $7:36 to play in the quarter. Brahma's going to need a drive here soon. Kickoff underway, going to be returned to about the 16-yard line. And out comes Kevin Hogan. Yeah, tale of 2 weeks. Beaten DC your first week as interim head coach, and then getting spanked by Houston last week is not great. But Hogan and shotgun back to his right, 2 receivers to each side. 1st and 10 from the 19. Gonna hand this off up the middle for Jay Sean Corbin, who's going to gain about 4. Now it's 2nd and 6 coming up for the Brahmas. Wait, they called that a foul? Nah, that's crazy. Hogan and shotgun back to his right. 2 receiving options to each side. Going to look to throw. Pressure coming, pass right side is tipped at the line and incomplete. Myjah Sanders is the one going to handle that one, I believe. It was either him or Carlos Davis. Couldn't quite tell the jersey number. Oh, no, neither, yeah. It was Myjah Sanders. A lot of that left hand on that ball. And a 3rd and 6 coming up. Just under 6.5 to play in this third quarter. Hogan alone in shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Get a motion receiver from the left side into the backfield to Hogan's left. For his 3rd and 6 play, looking for the 29-yard line. Hogan to throw. Has some time. Pump faking and pressure gets there and sacked back at the 11. There's Carlos Davis making an impact. And it's another 3 and out for this Brahmas offense. Just can't do anything against this Birmingham front 7. Had time, just and no one's getting open. Geez, this is a sluggish one. In San Antonio last year was the only team to have beaten Birmingham in the regular season. As punt comes off clean, going to be returned beginning from the 45 up past midfield to the 43 with a penalty marker down. This team beat Birmingham last year in the regular season. It was a really fun offense to watch and had a really good defense to back it up. This year, just nothing looks the same. As the penalty is ineligible man downfield, going to tack on 5 to the end of the return. And we head to a commercial break. Because again, Fox loves its commercial breaks. We shall see. As we're still at commercial break in this one. After another Brahmas 3 and out. They're 0 for 7 on 3rd down now today. And again, I wasn't expecting much out of this game this week. Again, I was always saying that the game at noon today, DC Michigan, was going to be my game of the week. Ended up being quite a blowout, but it was still a much better and entertaining game than this has been. Again, and going into this week, this was clearly the weak link of the 4 games. So can't be too surprised by this. We shall see. We're still at commercial break. That was a good 3 ball. Pacers up by, that was a 2. Okay, Pacers up by 3 though over the Cavs right now with 7:40 to play in the first. Good lane for Mitch. All right, 5:21 to play in this third quarter. We're back from a commercial break, and Case Cookus is on the sideline. Is Andrew Peasley coming in the game for the Stallions, I assume? Pascal with a 3. God damn. Shooting lights out. Is that Sam Merrill? Getting what the? Yeah, ball on the plus 39-yard line. And yeah, that's Andrew Peasley in the game for the Stallions. He's in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. 5:20 to play in the quarter. And Peasley's going to play action, look to throw a quick pass right side, caught by Amari Rogers. That's a gain of about 6 or 7. I wouldn't say they're showing championship mentality. This is a Brahmas team they should be up by a lot more against at this point in the game, and should definitely be looking a lot better as an offense at this point. I want to say, I mean, yeah, they're showing resilience because they're still in the lead and the defense is playing really well. This offense has not been fun to watch. Handoff up the middle for CJ Marable is going to gain 2 on second down, and maybe only gain a yard. A third and short nonetheless coming up. Like this is not a championship caliber offense we're watching today. And it wasn't like that last week either. It's for the most part. I mean, Beasley and Cookus are not the guys for this team, and we all knew that going into the season. That was going to be Magoo or Corral, but both are injured and on IR, and for who knows how much longer. 3rd and 2, Cookus in shotgun, back to his left. We'll hand this off to Marable up the middle, and that goes nowhere. Stuff at the line for no gain, maybe even losing a yard. It's a 3 and out for the Brahmas, for the Stallions. And they're going to send out Harrison Mevis to make this a 15-point game. The offensive line isn't moving bodies like it was last year. The run game is not. This is the weakest the Stallions have been in a long time. 50-yard kick from the right hash. It is up. And it is good. A new season long for the thicker kicker, Harrison Mevis. It's a 15-point Stallions lead with 3:20 to play in the quarter. Yeah, this has not been. This game is more so on the Brahmas offense not finding anything going for it than it is on the Stallions. You're definitely correct on that. But we've seen against the better teams this season for the Stallions that even in winning efforts against those better teams, against those other really good teams, the offense just is not getting a full 60, not getting a consistent 60. And now with how other teams have adjusted over the season, it's not going to be enough. Like there's a non-zero chance this team misses the playoffs this year. Because their back half of the schedule is not easy at all. They have Memphis, but besides that, like it's a tough schedule. Kickoff will be returned beginning from the 5, out past the 30 to about the 35. As Kevin Hogan takes the field once again. Like it would be one thing if this was a one-off poor showing for the Stallions offense, but week 1 wasn't good, week 3 wasn't good, and then this week isn't good. I'll go as far as say as last week wasn't good either, but the second half is like a question mark there. Because it was a good second half last week. Hogan in shotgun, back to his right, 3 receiving options to the left. Ball on the 36 will look to throw. Pressure coming, pass left side is caught in the flat. And going to get about 3 on the play, maybe 4. That was Steven Solanos on the reception. Yeah, Memphis, I would say, is a dangerous team because they beat them. Again, it's a tough schedule. They have to play. They have to play Houston, St. Louis, Michigan, and Memphis. They could lose all 4 of those games. Hogan to throw in 2nd and 7. Pass left side is caught in the flat, and that is a gain of 2 with Aiden Robbins on the reception. Like they like this Stallions team is a very vulnerable team this year. Compared to last year where they were just dominated, even in the one loss against San Antonio last year, it was a good effort that they had. They just haven't had a lot of those complete games yet that we've seen from other contenders in this league of DC, Arlington, St. Louis, Houston, Michigan. Like we've seen complete games from a bunch of other contenders. 3rd and 5, pass over the middle is caught, but that's a loss of like 3 or 4 on the play. Met in the backfield initially by Tazino. Tazino on the tackle there. I don't know what that play call was trying to do. It's caught by Justin Smith, but nothing afterwards. 0 for 9 on 3rd down are the Brahmas. It's another 3 and out. And they're going to be punting this one down with 1:15 to play in the 3rd quarter. Brad Wing's punt comes off clean. Going to take some bounces and be returned beginning from the 20. Out past the 30 and tripped up at the 33. And that's where this Stallions offense will take the field once again. If they can have another statement drive in this game, I'll feel a little bit better about them. But like Cook is not throwing the ball all too well, and we just don't have enough to say about Andrew Peasley just yet. So like if they're gonna find a rhythm on offense, they better hope that Corral or Magoo comes back. So 1st and 10. Peasley is still in the game. He's in shotgun back to his left. 3 receiving options to the left as well. Ball on 32. Gonna keep it himself left side. Has some room. Now gonna throw it. That's caught by K. Johnson down the field. Past midfield. Past the 45. Past the 40. Down to about the 39. Alright, that's a solid play call there. That's a solidly ran play. You cut the field in half for Peasley. Make it very simple. Find the man and just throw it. He's now looking to throw in 1st and 10. Has some time. Going to try and step up and going to roll to his left and be sacked back near the 43 with a penalty marker down. And then the very next play, you go just simple drop back and he's squirrelish in the pond. What's the penalty here? I would imagine it's holding on Birmingham. And thus you probably just declined it. It's still keep it the 2nd and long. Yeah, penalty will be declined. It was holding on Birmingham. A 2nd and 14 coming up. And we don't need one more play. The game clock's about a half second ahead of the play clock. So they can let this clock run. And it will be 2nd and 14 to begin the 4th quarter. And yep, there's the zeros. 15 minutes remain between the Stallions and the Brahmas in a game that can only be defined as existing. San Antonio is having back-to-back weeks of a really poor offensive showing. And Birmingham kind of in the same boat as well. Just not the kind of offensive show you would expect out of them against a team of this caliber. Again, comparing it to some of the other teams in this league, the other quote unquote contenders in this league. We just saw the Panthers put up 38 against the Defenders defense, which is one of the best defenses in the league. So it's like, who really knows? A win will be a win at this point for the Stallions. Again, a win will keep them tied for the top spot in the USFL conference. But again, they're heading for a really tough stretch to end the season. It's gonna get interesting for the Stallions down the stretch. We shall see. We shall see. As we saw a commercial break for the end of the third quarter, waiting for the start of the fourth quarter. In about 30 minutes is the start of Blues Jets. I was hoping this game would be over by the time puck drops there. All right, Birmingham is at just about 9,700 in attendance. You're still seeing St. Louis carry, but Michigan's getting up there in attendance numbers as well. It's good to see. But we shall see. Just coming back from commercial break. Let's see what you get. Andrew Peasley still in the game for the Stallions in this weird 2 QB system they're going with today. And even in that, they have not been passing the ball a lot. And even within that, Puckett is the only quarterback to throw in the completion for the Stallions today. Peasley is a perfect 4 for 4 passing. And now he is in shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left on 2nd and 14. Peasley will look to throw, has some time. Pass over the middle is off the mark and incomplete. There's a good jinx right there. So third and 14 coming up. Ball was off the mark by quite a bit. I wonder if we're about to see Fox have a better broadcast for this fourth quarter because they know that this game needs to end in about 30 minutes. So we might see less TV timeouts, which would be really good. Peasley in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, looking to throw. Quick pass right side, caught by Johnson for a screen. Has some blockers and room to run. Will depend on the spot. Think they give him the first down exactly. Got 14 on that play. Cade Johnson. Hell of a play there. Yeah, it's that wide receiver mid-screen. It works well. And I think that's the second time they've run it today. No, now they're saying 4th and inches. And they're going to get San Antonio to jump. Under 14 minutes to play in this game, and they get the encroachment call against San Antonio. Perfect. What just happened with the Cavs? They really had two. They really had the screen setter run into the ball handler in this Cavs Pacers game. God damn it, Cleveland. If the Pacers go to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, would that be the first time in team history? Beasley and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. First and 10 from the 25. Looking to throw left side. That's incomplete as the halfback screen got blown up instantly. Now 2nd and 10. The clock continues to run. Beasley and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Going to keep it himself left side on a read option and going to get the first down, a gain of roughly 10. A good carry there by Andrew Beasley. I mean, that's a factor of his game that Cookus doesn't have, and that is his mobility. It's still not to the level of what we saw with Adrian Martinez last year or what Alex Magoo could do, but it's enough to where it is a valid and reliable option for this offense. San Antonio has -1 yards this half. Beasley going to hand this off up the middle for Marable and going to shed off 1 tackle and going to be brought down inside the 10 to the 7. -1 yards of football in a quarter is crazy. So a 2nd and 3 now for the Stallions. Under 12 minutes to play in this game. Beasley and shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. Going to hand this off up the middle for Marable, and that's going to go nowhere. A loss of about 1 yard, maybe 2. Yeah, they're gonna say a loss of 2. It would be 3rd and 5. As this clock can get to about 10.5 before, at the very least, before we're going to see a change of possession, potentially. Third and 5. Beasley in shotgun, back to his right, 2 receivers to each side, going to look to throw. Pass in end zone, left side, and incomplete. Looking for Davion Davis on the slot fade, but great coverage there by the Brahmas. That was William Hooper in coverage. And forced that ball loose. It landed on the chest of Davion Davis, but a little too far inside maybe, yeah. If that ball's thrown back shoulder, that might have been a touchdown. But instead, it's a 4th and 5, and we're going to see the field goal unit once again for the Brahmas. Harrison Mevis to take the field to make this a 18-point game. 27-yard kick from the left hash. And there's movement up front. I think they got the Brahmas to jump here. If so, it's a 1st and goal. And yeah, the offense coming back on the field. They got the Brahmas to jump. And thus will be 1st and goal for the Stallions. A neutral zone infraction. 1st and goal for the Stallions. 10.5 to play in this one. Easily in shotgun, back to his left, going to keep it himself left side, going to spin his way for no gain, I think. Maybe a loss of 1 to the 5. Either way, trying to do the read option there and not much going. Now second and goal, and Peasley slow to get up, he's trying to make his way to the huddle, but eventually, and he's slow to get up now. All right, we're gonna head to a commercial break due to injury timeout. Oh yeah, his right leg got rolled on. All right, commercial break. Sucks to see it. Sucks to see a quarterback go down, even if it is sucks to see any player go down. Especially for me, it sucks to see a quarterback go down. Yeah, his right leg got rolled up on by like 2 different Brahmas. So hope all's good there. It just means we'll see more Case Cookus in this one. Damn, Pascal, what's that shot? About 10 minutes to play in this one. We're at an injury timeout commercial break due to Andrew Peasley going down, who is listed as the QB2 for the Stallions. They've been doing the 2 QB system in this game. So I would expect to see Case Cookus re-enter the game. But we shall see. The emergency third quarterback for the Stallions is Jamar Smith, who was with the Stallions well back in like 2022. Yeah, I believe he was the quarterback then for them. As again, I will not be live for any of the games in week 7. In replace of that, I'm going to be posting a video at about on Saturday, I believe. There'll be a video going up Saturday to make up for not going live at all in week 7 of the UFL. Which I actually do need to record that tonight or tomorrow so I can edit it before. But yeah, Case Cook is back in the game for the Stallions on second and goal from the 5. Cook is in shotgun back to his right. 3 receiving options to the right as well. 9:45 now to play in this one. Cook is going to look to throw. Quick pass right side, caught by Jay Sternberger and untouched. Walking in. Touchdown Stallions. Up by 21 now with 9:37 to play in this one. And they have dominated this game from start to finish. But again, not in the way I expected them to dominate it. Like, yeah, this is one where they were expected to win, but were expected to win in a more complete fashion than what they have shown. But oh well. A win's a win no matter what. So the 2-point try. Are we going to have the Brahmas call a timeout before the conversion attempt? Why? Okay. Okay, so San Antonio was thinking about challenging it if the ball was caught ahead of the line of scrimmage. Since it was caught behind, there's no issue about potential offensive pass interference there, and thus they're just going to take the timeout. Yeah, it's caught behind the line. Okay. That was a nice pass there. Holy. But the TJ McConnell making that pass? Okay. The 2-point try from the 5. Cookus will look to throw. Pass it. End zone. Right side. And that's caught by Jordan Thomas. Back corner of the end zone. It is a 23-point Stallions lead. Again, in a game where, yes, this is a dominant showing, especially on the scoreboard, but it is not like the Stallions have had like 3 really good drives in this game. Everything else has kind of just been not impressive, which was not what you were expecting when going against a team like San Antonio, who, again, they give up 27 points per game. So the Stallions putting up 26 is not that surprising. But we shall see. Oh, Dabo Sweeney's here? Kickoff underway, going to be returned beginning from inside the 5. And going to get past the 20 to about the 22. I guess there's a few Clemson guys on the Stallions roster that he's like close with, because he's rocking that Stallions cap. But yeah, okay, Dabo's sweet. Dabo's here. Okay. Oh yeah, Amari Rogers did go to Clemson. I forgot about that. Did Deion Kane as well? Is this receiving room for the Stallions just Clemson? Hogan to throw, gonna pass this right side on 1st and 10. That's a gain of about 2. Yeah, Deion Kane also went to Clemson. Okay, so yes, you got the receiving room. Was a few other guys. Hogan and shotgun back to his left, looking to throw in 2nd and 7. Has time, pass left side. That's going to be caught by Justin Smith for a 1st down and then some. Under 9 minutes of play, there's now a penalty marker down. It's a face mask on the Stallions. So tack on 15 to the end of that play. I mean, yeah, I guess W would have a good relation with Skip Holtz. All right. I just wasn't expecting to see Dabo Sweeney at this game. Hogan and shotgun back to his left, 2 receivers to each side will look to throw in 1st and 10. Pass left side caught by Justin Smith for a receiver screen that gains a yard. Hogan and shotgun back to his right, 3 receivers to the right as well will look to throw here in 2nd and 10. As time, launcher went deep, right side, that's well overthrown, and that's picked off, an arm punt basically. And trying to return this one past the 25 and trying to now make some more room here, going backwards a bit. And now just going to slide down at the 20. But that's Stephen Gilmore picking that ball off. It's an arm punt. That's all that was. There is a penalty marker down, so we'll see what this is, but I doubt it's going to negate the interception. Yeah, 7:50 to play in this one. I guess they picked up the penalty as well. I mean, they did not announce it on the broadcast. They're discussing it now, I guess. Okay. A blindside block. The blindside block on the Brahmas? Okay, sure. Interception stands, 7:50 to play in this one. We're going to a commercial break. I hope Fox realizes this game is supposed to end in like 15 minutes. Let's see, what's next on the docket on Fox? Oh yeah, yeah, Fox. You realize that Next Level Chef is supposed to be starting. 7:50 to play in this one. As we're at another commercial break. We shall see. We shall see. All right, just coming back from commercial break, 7:50 to play in this one. It's been all Stallions throughout the entirety of this. It was a Marvel game. I've been like had one trailer for it back like 2 years ago. We've seen nothing since. I just saw a image of it that released like this sometime this year. I cannot wait for more information on that. All right, Cookus and shotgun back to his left. Three receivers to the left as well. Ball on the 36. Going to look to throw past left side. That's caught for a gain of 4. As Jalen Camp is the receiver on that play. I am not far away. I'm not far away from just switching this Cavs Pacers game to the pre-show for Winnipeg St. Louis. A free play here for the Stallions. Cookus looking to throw. Pass left side. Going to be caught. And room to run for Deion Kane. Pass to 35. And eventually just getting out of bounds right around there as well. The free play and the offsides on the Brahmas is going to be declined as a big time pickup for the Stallions with 7:14 to play in this one. Keep the clock moving. Big play by Deion Kane there. Cookus and shotgun back to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Play action looking to throw, pressure coming. Cookus sacked back at the 40. A loss of 4 on the play. And clock continues to run. 6:45 left in this one. Yeah, low snap there. Yeah, again, there's some... The Brahmas have done some things in this game. Kobe Jones on the sack there for the Brahmas. Is 2nd and 14 coming up from the plus 40. Cookus and shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the right looking to throw once again. Pressure coming and sacked again. Might have got rid of it in time. And they might rule this a fumble actually. Picked up by the Brahmas. Was that... No, that has to be either a sack or a forward pass. There's no way that's a fumble. Devontae Beckett fell on that just in case they do rule it a fumble. And it seemed like initially they did. Skip Holtz is holding that challenge flag. We'll see. I can't tell if that was I don't think that was backwards. Yeah, I mean it's definitely not a sack. His arm goes forward, the ball... I mean, I guess the question is his arm actually going forward or is he going backwards because he's being spun? That was Isaiah Buggs meeting him in the backfield there, a recent pickup for the Brahmas, and yeah, the ruling an incomplete pass. 3rd and 14, 6:12 to play in the game. Sometimes I forget the Cavaliers have a mascot that's just a dog because of Cleveland. Yeah, receiver in the area, and it can be incomplete. Okay. Cookus and shotgun back to his left, 3 receivers to the right side as well. Gonna let this clock run a bit. 6 minutes to play, and there's movement up front. Deion Kane jumps well early. And a false start on the Stallions to make it a 3rd and 19 with 6 minutes to play in this game. Why is that the uniform combo for this game? Like, I hate the idea of teams wearing City Connects and alternate jerseys in the playoffs. I mean, like, in like 2K, it's fine because it's fun, but like, come on, we really don't need teams to be wearing city uniforms in the playoffs. Cookus throw over the middle on 3rd and 19 is going to be caught by Jordan Thomas and going to be brought down near the 37 yard line for a 4th down coming up. Fourth and 11. Out comes Harrison Mevis. Just about 5.5 left to play in this one. Looking to make this a 26-point lead. And there's a clock stoppage now with 5:27 to play. What is this? This has been one of the games of the UFL season this year. All right, refs are discussing something here. They just added like 30 seconds back on this clock. For some reason. Okay. So 4th and 11, the offense is staying on the field for the Stallions. Cookus in shotgun, back to his left, 3 receivers to the right. Looking for that 26-yard line. Ball on the 37. Cookus to throw. Has time. Pass over the middle is caught. And that's going to be a gain of like 5. For Amari Rogers. 5:24 to play in this one. The Brahmas are getting the ball back. Down by 23. Which is a 3-possession lead. So if they score quick. Okay, yeah, I like that Fox now is like, oh shit, we have like 5 minutes left before next level chef is supposed to begin. We're not gonna go to commercial much. Hogan and shotgun back to his left, 2 receiving options to each side, looking to throw. Quick pass left side that's caught and going to be a gain of like 3 or so. And that is Steven Stellanos once again. Clock continues to run. Hogan and shotgun back to his left, 2 receiving options to each side, looking to throw. Pressure coming, going to trying to avoid it. Pass over the middle is caught by Marquez Stevenson. No, that's Jashawn Corbin on the reception, and going to be a gain of 6. A 3rd and 1 coming up. Clock continues to run. Don't even go to commercial for a 2-minute break. Don't even go to commercial for a 2-minute warning. Just let this clock run. Hogan and shotgun going to look to throw on 3rd and 1. Has time, pass left side. That's going to be dropped by Jacob Harris through his arms, and it's a 3 and out once again for the Brahmas. This has not been a good game for the Brahmas whatsoever. On an opening drive that started so well, they have done nothing since. Four minutes to play in this one. Hogan under center, back behind him, as well as an extra lineman to act as a fullback. Why are the Stallions calling timeout? Timeout called by the Stallions. They refuse to let this clock run. But again, I won't be live for any of the games on week 7 of the UFL. Again, instead I'll be releasing a video during the week or over the weekend to make up for it. As week 7 does have some interesting matchups. Houston, Birmingham is an interesting one alongside Michigan and Arlington. Those are 2 really good matchups for week 7. Yeah, Kevin Hogan under center, back behind him in a fullback, extra lineman acting as a fullback, handoff up the middle, and ball comes loose, picked up by the Stallions. It was gonna be a turnover on downs anyway. Aiden Robbins was not gonna be able to pick up the first there. So nonetheless, it is Stallions football with 3:49 to play in this one. All right. It's probably we might go to one more commercial break, and that would be the 2-minute warning, which even then, no point in. Yeah, that's a fumble. He would have been short of the line again anyway. Cookus and Shotgun going to hand this off of the middle for Ricky Person, and that is going to be pushing the power forward for a gain of about 7. And there's a penalty marker down. Can we play 4 minutes of disciplined football, please? It's holding on the Stallions, I guess. So 1st and 20. $3:42 to play. Cookus and Shotgun back to his left. 3 receivers to the left as well. Ball on the plus 49-yard line. It's a 1st and 20. And Cookus is going to hand this off right side for Ricky Person, who's going to gain about 1 yard before being thrown out of bounds. Okay, we're about to reach halftime between the Cavs and the Pacers. I'm switching this. I'm going to switch that game to Winnipeg and St. Louis. 2nd and 19, 3:25 left to play in this one as the clock continues to roll. Just stay in balance as much as you can. Why are the Brahmas calling timeout? Brahmas called their second timeout. Why? Just why? We don't need this game to go on any longer. There's 3:15 left in this game. It's a 23-point Stallions lead. Like, do we really need timeouts called right now? Second and 19. All right. Cookus alone in shotgun. 3 receivers to the left looking to throw. Has time. Pass left side. Caught by Marlon Williams and room to run. And going to get about 11 on the play. As there's some finger pointing going on post play. We do not need more clock stoppages. 3 minutes to play in this one. A 3rd and 8 coming up for the Stallions. Need about 1, maybe 2 more plays before the 2-minute warning. To anyone tuning into Fox right now, hoping to watch Next Level Chef, enjoy some really bad football. Cookus alone in shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left looking to throw. Pass over the middle is caught by Marlon Williams for a 1st down and then some past the 25 to the 24. And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Two minutes to play in this one. A 23-point Stallions lead. As week 6 of the UFL ends with a thud. 3 pretty damn solid and entertaining games. And then this one. That's the 2-minute warning. We have to go to a commercial break. I better not see the Brahmas call timeouts when we get back from this commercial break. We shall see. There's also a wait-in puck drop between Winnipeg and St. Louis now. Honestly, knowing this game, we might be able to get a whole period out of that game before this game finally ends. It was still at commercial break for the 2-minute warning. We shall see. As the teams are taking the ice between Winnipeg and St. Louis, it's a whiteout in Winnipeg for a crucial Game 7. Winner plays the Dallas Stars. At this point, I might just call this game. Winnipeg, the President's Trophy winners, symbolizing they were the best team in the regular season across the entire NHL. Looking to beat a St. Louis team that snuck in the final few games. As we're just coming back from commercial break between the Brahmas and the Stallions. Perfect timing. Over 10 on third down on the Brahmas. They were such a good team last year. What happened? Took and shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. First and 10 from the 25. Going to hand this off up the middle, and that is a gain of 2, maybe 3 for CJ Marable. Clock continues to run. Second and 7, under 1.5 to play in this game. Cookus and shotgun back to his right. 3 receivers to the right as well. Play clock winding down. Going to get the snap off in time. A handoff to CJ Marable up the middle. Is going to lose about 1.5 yards on the play. Need at least one more. Gonna need at least one more play. Third and 9. $40 seconds to play in this one. Yeah, one final play of the game here, most likely. Cookus and shotgun back to his right, going to hand this off to Marable up the middle. And that goes nowhere, stuffed at the line. But we are under 30 seconds to play. That will do it. This game finally ends with a 23-point Stallions lead. They are tied with the Michigan Panthers on top of the USFL Conference at 4-2, with Houston behind both of them at 3-3. The Brahmas, after a UFL championship appearance last year, are 1-5 on the season, and yes, you can say this was a blowout. It's a 23-point win that the Brahmas had no chance in. You can say this was a blowout for sure. Next week's an interesting matchup. But first off, the Brahmas are going to be playing the DC Defenders, the only team they have beat this season. And the Stallions are playing the Roughnecks. That's going to be a tough one if the Stallions show up like they did today. That's going to be a good one to watch. Again, I won't be live for any of the Week 7 games, but you can expect a video to come out this weekend that is UFL adjacent. So there's that. But yeah, this game lasted a lot longer than it probably should have. Yeah, I'll be back live in about 2 weeks. But until then, still Power Rankings predictions, all the usual. See you all next time. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.